यत्तु कामेप्सु न कर्म साहङ्कारेण वा पुनः क्रियते बहुलायासं तद्राजसमुदाहृतम्.
But that action is said to be rajasic, which is performed by one craving for the desired objects, or with egoism, and with much effort. So, rajasic action is said to be one where there is kamepsuna, there is a craving for the fruit of action. And that action is performed with a lot of ego, ahankara. Sahankarena means that kartritva bhavana, that I am the doer. I am the intelligent one. I have clarity. I can see where you're going wrong, so on and so forth. Where there is complete disregard for the contribution of so many other people in the world. And a person with this kartritva bhavana, the doership attitude, is one who is disliked by people because nobody likes to be told that you're wrong and I'm right. Even when you're right, a sattvic person is one who has clarity and he knows that all of us are doing the most idiotic, stupid things in life. Yet, he keeps quiet. Example, Krishna, with reference to Arjuna, in the first chapter of the Gita and the first 10 verses of chapter 2, Arjuna is sitting there and blabbering, saying the most absurd things. Krishna doesn't sit there and say, "Yeah, you idiot, what are you thinking? Listen to me." He just keeps quiet. He waits for Arjuna to exhaust himself and ask for help. Now, this is not as a formality, not out of egoism, but unless you're open to receiving knowledge, what is the point of screaming your one's lungs out at you? That's what we all do with children. We don't understand. The moment the parent opens his or her mouth, the child has already switched off. He's not listening. Only when you exhaust yourself and keep quiet, then he comes back. He switches on again. Because you're giving unasked for, unsolicited advice. So therefore, ego, this kartritva bhavana, that I alone can do it, that I alone am qualified to do it. Who says so? Even in a religious institution, there are heads of religious institutions that say, "No, I am the best. Nobody can compare with me." Bahulayasam. When, first of all, you're performing the action with a tremendous craving for the fruit of action, the fruit is in the future. A lot of ego, kartritva bhavana, which comes from the past. So, like we've been saying throughout, while performing action, 100% of your mind must be behind the action for it to be a fruitful action, for it to lead to success. But while performing the action, if your mind slips into the unproductive channels of the past and future, your present action gets impoverished, leading to failure. And because there is dissipation of your energies, there is much effort. See, you feel the strain. When you're egoistic, you feel the strain. When you are craving for the fruit, you feel the strain. That's what happened to Roger Federer in the Australian Open. So it's not that physically he was tired, it's just mentally he was drained out completely. With what? Worry of the past, anxiety for the future. So this creates a lot of agitation. Whereas sattvic action is characterized by effortless excellence. When you see Tiger Woods play, he was ill for a while, he came back as if he had never stopped playing. You take a look at a brilliant cricketer play, it seems so easy. You listen to a musician come up with a very difficult rendition. It seems so easy when you listen to it, deceptively easy. Why is it? Because that person is in sattva, dedicated action, where there is no anxiety for the fruit. You just do it as your offering, your sacrifice, your ahuti for the cause. You're not interested in the fruit, which means you're not interested in money or position or fame or name or following or any of that. Then why are you doing it? You're doing it for the sole purpose of getting to the state of realization. This is the characteristic of sattva. Sattva is pure because with reference to the world there is complete disinterest. Why is there disinterest with reference to the world? Because you are totally interested, totally passionate about reaching the state of self-realization. Therefore, nothing that happens in the world affects you. So you're not interested in anything. But a Rajasic person is a stakeholder in the world. He's dependent on the world. He wants more of the world. He's a taker. So therefore, there is a lot of strain, a lot of effort, a lot of tension that goes into it. That's why in Mumbai, wherever you go, if you want something done and it is not forthcoming, what do they tell you? Tension mat lena. Everybody is telling everyone else don't be tense. And everyone is tense because of Rajas. Kamepsuna, craving for the fruit. Ahankara, egoism. And put together it, bahulayasam, with much effort, a lot of strain, depletes your energies. And that is why all of us come home in the evening saying, oh, I'm tired. This evening coming here, it took us an hour and 45 minutes to get here. All that we were doing was sitting in the car. But when you are caught in traffic and when you're crawling, you reach your destination and say, oh, I'm tired. Why are you tired? How can you be tired? You've just been sitting. The fatigue and the tiredness comes from mental anxiety. Will I reach there on time? But if you make an assessment of how much time it will take to reach there, you can switch off, listen to uplifting music. You can do whatever you have to do. You can entertain thoughts of the transcendental, sattvic thought. Then you will reach your destination refreshed, energized. Now let's take a look at what tamasic action is. Next verse.